Hello everyone, Mocha Bear here. Welcome back to Mocha Bear's Hobby Den. Today we're going to be discussing other tabletop RPGs. Shall we get started? So as stated, this video is going to be about other TTRPGs or tabletop role-playing games. This video is being done because I was recently reached out by someone who was curious about tabletop role-playing games. They had mentioned about seeing my D&D videos and wanted to know if there were other things out there, as they're interested, but they're more into like video games like Skyrim. I believe they said Skyrim. So I'm going to show you some other TTRPGs out there. I'll be showing you the pages for them on Amazon, as that is probably the cheapest location that you'll be able to get most of them, as Amazon has sales going on most things. Just heads up, I am not sponsored for this video at all. I'm just doing this as an informative video to get you guys potentially interested in other TTRPGs other than D&D. However, if you have a local gaming store and or a bookstore, feel free to go check out the prices there and compare them to prices on Amazon. If the company has an official website, the company that made the book, see if they have a sale going on their website for the books. You never know. I do recommend supporting your local game stores and bookstores when you're able to, because like here, we have quite a few game stores in the area, but a bookstore is like Books A Million, or BAM as it's labeled. They have some tabletop role-playing game core books right there, some of them even expansions. Heavily D&D, of course, because it's the most popular right now. A good alternative to D&D is, I'm taking my ring off so I'm not clacking every time I touch my mouse, is right here, Pathfinder by Paizo. So those of you who have been following along with D&D recently, at least from the beginning of this year, you'll have seen an issue with Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, the OGL crisis that happened, the OGL fiasco, which forced a lot of people to just abandon D&D altogether, sadly. I will not be quitting D&D 5e anytime soon, but I did start looking at other alternatives, and one of those was Pathfinder by, again, Paizo. Because of that fiasco with Wizards of the Coast and the OGL for D&D, Paizo's Pathfinder was the main go-to for almost everybody. So right here you're seeing $79.99. That's for the core rulebook plus a mat that's included with it. However, here you can see it's labeled at $43.34 for the book with the mat. However, I don't know why. When you click on that, it takes you to the other page I was just showing you. But the standard price of the book, $60. When it's in stock on here as just the book itself, it'll be $43.34 unless they change the price. But it's the same concept for D&D, medieval fantasy. You've got your fantasy races. You've got humans, elves, dwarves, goblins, all that kind of stuff. It plays similar. There are some differences. There are a plethora of videos on how to play Pathfinder, how to make a character, how to choose a character. Plethora of those on YouTube. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, feel free to, when you're done watching this video, search up some Pathfinder videos. Another TTRPG that Paizo's made is Starfinder. And this is yeah, that's right, that's fine. This is a futuristic space version of Pathfinder, if you will. It's a space futuristic TTRPG that you can play. I've not gotten into this yet. As you can see right here, it's saying it's $49.01 on Amazon. The normal price, I believe, is $59.99 in store. It sounds like something I'm interested in. I almost got it, but I held off because I just decided to get the Pathfinder one. That was the harder one to find because at the time, it was almost impossible to get. Like I said, almost everybody jumped from D&D to Pathfinder. So they said that their warehouses that were supposed to last them 7 or 9 months only lasted them 2 weeks. They were emptied in 2 weeks. I lucked out and got mine when an Amazon warehouse happened to get some in stock. But Pathfinder's a very good alternative. Here we've got another one that I have played one game in. It's called Mutants and Masterminds. This is the Basic Heroes Handbook, so it's $34.99. It was difficult for me to find this when me and a buddy of mine were getting interested in it, because this version was the only one that the store that we went to had. And I ended up going maybe 8 months to a year before I finally bought mine off of here on Amazon. So as you can see, it's out of stock right now on Amazon, but you can get the basic one. So in this game, it's similar to D&D as it's roleplay. You can create your world. However, unlike D&D, it's more modern day recommended, as you get to make your own superhero, anti-hero, or villain, depending on what kind of story you and your friends want to play. The storyteller makes up the story. It recommends you build the world around your local area. So when you're trying to describe something, all the players know exactly what you're talking about. I had fun character creation with this. It is very different than D&D and Pathfinder. Very open. I definitely recommend watching at least a couple of character creation videos and watching them multiple times, just because of how open it is. For example, my character I made is more of an anti-hero than a superhero, because I made them a human, and there's no like race section in this book. So I decided to be a human who was former military. I based him off of the Punisher, Batman, the Shadow. Shout out to any of you who know who the Shadow is.
The Shadow knows.
And the Predator. So Punisher and Shadow premise, like he's dealing with firearms, wielding dual 1911s. Batman, as in the fact he has a utility belt that has little tools and gadgets on it. He has a hideaway. It's not a bat cave. However, also he has technology that helps him cloak, as well as a mask that is able to zoom in on targets for him. It has thermal, night vision, all that kind of stuff built into it. Even has a laser dot designed into it to help him with his targeting. Sadly, I have yet to play him. Probably never going to be able to get to. But it's a really fun game if you want to try out being a superhero, anti-hero, or villain in modern day. Next up, we have Star Wars. I am a huge Star Wars nerd. I have been since I was a little kid. I actually still have the original trilogy in the triple VHS pack, the silver edition. So before they remastered the episode 6 at the end with Hayden Christensen coming back as Anakin. But there are a few of the Star Wars TTRPGs out there. If you're lucky, you can find the Knights of the Old Republic core rulebook for under $400. Don't hold your breath on that. But we have Star Wars Edge of the Empire core rulebook. We have Star Wars Age of the Rebellion. And then, my favorite is Force and Destiny. So Edge of the Empire and Age of the Rebellion focuses more on the everyday kind of person, like non-Jedi. You have different jobs in there. You have races to pick from, or species. You have careers, and then I forget what they're called, but pretty much like a subclass in D&D, your specialty. I think it's actually a specialty. So, like with, I think it's Edge of the Empire, there is a bounty hunter class, and then there's like different specialties that you can do, that you can pick from. You have pilots, you have scoundrels, things like that. Me being the big fan of using the Force, and being a Force user, I have the Force and Destiny book. This one is the hardest of the three to find. It's always out of stock on Amazon, and anytime it's on Amazon, it's overpriced. In fact, let's see here. Yeah, Edge of the Empire has recently been hard to find, but the Age of the Rebellion is $62.39. I believe the book is around that price in store, if not maybe a little more expensive. It's the same price for all three in stores. Do not get ripped off, because for the longest time, for years, this book here was only available for over $100. At one point, the cheapest you could find was $199. Luckily, I found some other websites that were selling it. I actually found it on Walmart.com, and I got it for I want to say less than $50 for the book, which was cheaper than it was normally here on Amazon, and definitely cheaper than in store if you buy it from someone who actually has it in store. Do some research, because this one I'm a big fan of, because the storyteller can do the story. It's more focused for during the Empire's rule, but you can customize it to take place during any era. Some expansion books or other books that give you the guideline for creating a dark side story, so your players can be dark side users. So if you're a big Star Wars fan and you're into tabletop role-playing games, check out one of those three books. Next up, we have one that I'm very interested in. It's the Alien TTRPG. This is by Free League, who, if you've been following me, I've done a video before on Free League. They have recently done a Kickstarter project for The Walking Dead. This is really cool. Definitely recommend checking out some videos on that here on YouTube. All these previous books I've been showing you have character creation videos here on YouTube. They even have full story videos of people actually playing their sessions. Check those out. I highly recommend them. This looked really fun. It's very dark and creepy, so check that one out. If you are a Warhammer fan like me, I'm heavy into the table game itself. As you can see, I've got my I'm sweating in this hot room. I've got some minis here that I've painted. These are my Necrons. You can barely see back here. I've got my Death Guard, and then back behind all these dice, I've got my Space Marines, my Raven Guard, as well as my Soulblight Gravelords, because I play 40k and Age of Sigmar. So here, there is the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, which is around the Age of Sigmar style of Warhammer. Me and one of my buddies from D&D, he and I found this core rulebook at our semi-local game store. It's about a 45-minute drive from me. We lucked out and they had 2 copies of it, so we each got one. Very interesting concept. You've got your races or species. You've got your classes, but I don't think they're called classes. And then you have a background to choose from. And it's a very interesting concept as far as character creation. Definitely different from D&D, as with this you have quite a bit of openness. There's more to work with in the character creation. There's more. It feels, if I remember correctly, I've made one character we haven't played yet. It feels like there's more steps to this. So I highly recommend checking out how to create a character video for this game. So you've got the fantasy. There's also the 40k Wrath and Glory. I'm somewhat interested in this. I might get the book itself just to at least check it out. As you can see, it's 10% off here on Amazon, and I believe the $53.55 there, that's the typical price slashed out, is also a sale price. So definitely check it out. Check out how to create videos on this, some gameplay, some sessions on this. There's expansions for this as well. Another one that I have played before, get this out of here, and that I have the book for, Vampire the Masquerade. In fact, I've done a video on this channel of my cosplay for my character for this game. This is a very fun but very dark game. Definitely not recommended for kids because there is excessive, like, detailed violence per se. Because, long story short, you're a villain. You're a vampire. You're a as they're called, kindred. You're a killer. There is blood in this game. There's blood drinking. You can lose control and go on a rampage. There's different clans to pick from, and then you just pick and choose your different abilities and skills and all that stuff. You build your own background, things like that. Next up is another one that I've been somewhat interested in. I've got a playthrough saved on my playlist to watch at some point, but you've got Call of Cthulhu. It's H.P. Lovecraft. It is a horror or TTRPG. Oh, excuse me. I believe it is like heavy with mystery and all that kind of stuff. This seems like a fun one as well. A lot of people play Vampire the Masquerade and this over D&D. I myself need to do some more investigations on this game itself. Another one, for those of you that are video game fans, you've got Dishonored. Modifius Dishonored the RPG. This is a TTRPG for your group to sit at and play. And then Modifius also did a RPG for Dune. So those of you who've seen the original movie, have read the book, or seen part 1 of the remake and are looking forward to part 2 coming out soon, I'm excited. This may be the game for you. Yeah, as you can see there, the list price is $59.99, and I do know for a fact that is the store price. It's 21% off here on Amazon, $47.52. Check this book out if you're interested. There's also The Witcher RPG. So those of you who are into the books, the video games, the show, concept for you to check out. The next one is one I did an unboxing video for by Magpie Games, Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. So this is a game that can take place in many different eras. You have, of course, the era during Aang's time. You have the option during the 100-Year War. There's also the options for previous eras during different avatars, like Roku. And then, of course, there's also the era during Korra. You can play during that. I have yet to play it. I sadly have yet to actually sit down and read more through the core book. However, there are videos on it. There are actual videos of some of the voice actors from the show playing the game. So definitely search that up here on YouTube as well when you get the chance. Everything I've just shown you is just not even a dent in the realm of TTRPGs out there. There's plenty of them for different video games. There's plenty of them out there for movies. There's ones out there for different anime. I've used this word earlier. There is a plethora of TTRPGs out there to be explored. One person I follow here on YouTube, Nerd Immersion, he in the past few months started playing the Ghostbusters TTRPG. So that just goes to show you that there is a TTRPG out there for almost everything. There's even a Pokemon TTRPG. There's a Power Rangers TTRPG. So there's options out there. So don't feel afraid to go out there and search. A website that I use to play D&D on, but I know for a fact a bunch of these other games are on there, is Roll20. Again, not sponsored, but I use them. Go on there. It's free to create your account, and you can find a game to join on there if you don't have enough friends in your local area to try to get together and play. If you cannot afford a physical book, but you find a game that you're interested in, search up the free PDF. 9 out of 10, you will find a free PDF you can find. Save it to your computer, a hard drive. But free PDFs are definitely a go-to for me sometimes when I don't have the money for a book yet. Feel free to just search for anything that that you're interested in, and then TTRPG, see what pops up. This is the main focus of this channel, is just promoting things out there to people to get you interested. So again, if anything that you've seen here listed interests you, check them out. But let me go ahead and end this here before I continue on and on and on, because by now we know I will. So please take care of yourselves, and until next time, hobby on.